Hello, students and family members. Today, we discussed in science groundwater and runoff, or what happens to water if it falls back down to the earth. In order to help this discussion and reading, we talked about two phenomenons that we can easily see. Let's say you put a plate underneath the water. Then you let the water overflow. It's going to spill off of the plate into the sink. The opposite is true when using a sponge. A sponge with its little holes are going to soak up as much water as it possibly can. As you read, you should have been able to fill in these blanks. When rain falls onto the land or other precipitation, there's a few different things can happen. Some of the water is used by plants. We also made the point that people could use the water, but they have to develop the wells to get down within the groundwater, which we'll talk about later. Some of the water evaporates into the air. Remember, evaporation is one of the first steps of the water cycle where water turns into a gas. That gas is known as water vapor. Some of the water soaks down into the soil until it hits solid rock. And that rock has tiny little holes in it. And the water will seep through those little holes, and people can then use it later. Many people depend on this type of water. It's called groundwater, and we use it for drinking water in the form of those wells. Here's a picture that shows the process of water that goes deep beneath the surface of the soil, down to where the rock is, into those little holes of the rock. Any extra water that then spills off is considered runoff. That water typically will flow into creeks or rivers. And that wraps up our first lesson and unit on the water cycle.